welcome to another edition of our Beyond the Numbers interview series, where we speak to Valley leaders about what advice they have for themselves and why they love accounting. Today, we're speaking with Ashley Steffen. She is the Financial Reporting Manager at Level 3 Audiovisual. I wanted to speak to Ashley because in the last, I think, 6 years, she has been able to either be promoted or move around with her organization every year or two. So I thought she'd be able to provide some good advice for us. Are you ready to get started, Ashley?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us, if you could go back to when you were a staff or senior, what advice would you have?
So this might be a long answer, but I wasn't someone who figured out what I wanted to do right out of high school. I definitely tried a few different career paths, including a realtor. I was a realtor for a little bit. I wanted to be a residential appraiser. I wanted to be a wedding planner, and even at some point a landscape architect, which I now think is hilarious because that is definitely not the right fit for me, and I don't really know what I was thinking.
Okay.
But something I tried to do as wherever possible is I actually got into the field I was learning about in school or in classes, just to try to actually see what the day-to-day looked like. So when I was trying to be a residential appraiser, I did get an internship in addition to my classes to see what it actually looked like. I actually had worked at Level 3 Audiovisual about 15 years ago when we were a much, much smaller company.
Okay.
And I did general accounting, which was great because I got to see all different areas of accounting at the transactional level. So AP, AR, job costing, and even some HR tasks.
Okay.
And that's when I knew this was the right fit for me because I really enjoyed the transactional part of accounting. I was there for 3.5 years, and I feel like I really blossomed in that role. When I went back to school for accounting, I asked to even help with the nightly close financial process at the restaurant I was working at.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got an audit internship at a CPA firm while I was in college. So again, I think the real job experience really helps in these instances when you're trying to figure out what you're doing. Seeing the job in its true form versus learning from a teacher are definitely just very important. And you may realize that a job's not a good fit for you on your first day of shadowing someone in the actual position you are looking to obtain. So the profession is not always as glamorous as it might seem. So as much as I did this to some extent, I still think I would give this as my biggest advice to other people as well as myself again. Just anyone starting out to take it, or if you're taking interest in a new career, to go sit with someone who actually has the job title you're looking to obtain and really see what the day-to-day looks like. Obviously some sort of internship would be great, but I know that's not always practical with schedules and finances and stuff.
That's true.
But I feel like sitting with someone on their typical workday can really shed some light as to what the rest of your life might look like. So
Okay.
yeah, and the other one I would say is on social media platforms, just connect. I mean, I know this is a LinkedIn interview, but obviously I'll say LinkedIn. I'm a full-blown introvert, and it's really hard for me to step outside my comfort zone and even like just reach out and connect with somebody that you might not know that much. But it really is such a common aspect of professional lives nowadays that I think it's a no-brainer just to grow your network. The more people you know, the more likely you have an in to your dream job, and whether that be direct or indirect, it will be helpful in your career advancement. So
Great. Okay. So to recap, I love your first answer actually, because somebody had said be a sponge. And that's what it sounds like you were, because you were trying to figure out what you were going to do, and you went and worked at the places and just soaked everything up as much as you can. And then if you decided, hey, this doesn't work, then you're going to go try something else. And just working in that industry, like you said, the first time at Audiovisual or Level 3 Audiovisual, you were able to just sponge it, soak it all up, right?
Yeah. And there's all the different levels that you can get into, and it was nice getting from the ground up.
Yeah. So I like that. And then you're right, connecting with people on LinkedIn. And I recommend, as a recruiter, doing it as soon as you're graduating, because you never know. And you don't want to connect with people you don't know, but it's okay if you're like a staff accountant or a senior accountant or a controller to connect with other people. As long as you're not abusing it, you shouldn't get in trouble. To reach out even to people that you don't know. I know LinkedIn says don't connect with people you don't know, but as a staff accountant, I think it's okay. Do you think it's okay?
Well, I think you connect with someone at school, I was a waitress at my job, just everyone, you don't know what they're going to become or how they might be valuable to you in any shape or form. So it's not a bad thing to just connect with everybody and build your network.
Okay, great. Why do you love accounting, or what value has it added in your career?
So I have always loved money. I know that sounds funny because I'm sure everybody loves money to some extent, but I love the idea of accounting for money. I love knowing where money goes and forecasting for the future and categorizing expenses. And I always say budgeting is a passion of mine. I even have it on my resume, but doing that for millions of dollars for a company versus just my own is so enjoyable to me. So I actually looked this up, but kind of speaks to me. People who enjoy structured environments and clear rules will often find accounting very rewarding. And this is me to a T. I definitely am a rule follower, and structure is definitely something I need in my life.
Okay.
I will also just state Excel, Excel, Excel. I use Excel daily, every minute of my workday. And I've always used and loved Excel, and I love how you can continuously learn more efficient ways to do something.
Right.
Accounting is an exciting career option because you can literally work for any company in any industry because everybody needs accounting. So it makes it just very wide open as far as possibilities. Why I obviously find myself having, or while I find myself having certain strengths due to my industry experience, I do feel like I could go into a new industry and pick up the nuances quickly.
Right.
While work can be mundane at times, I find joy in looking for process improvement and ways that I can positively impact the company I work for. Whether it's a better tracking system of some type for transactions or analysis that sheds light on a business sector that you might want to focus on more for profitability. I enjoy the intellectual challenge of breaking down financial puzzles and providing solutions. I often refer to myself as a numbers detective because you have to go in and really search for some variances sometimes, or just why something might look off when you're doing an analysis. And I like to do that and see what needs to be resolved. I find that fun.
Okay.
And not to be cheesy, but I kind of feel like the possibilities are endless as long as you have the right support system within the company as far as bringing things up.
Right. Okay. Now, what percentage of time would you say is mundane accounting versus like solving problems, like analyzing situations, the puzzle portion?
So in my current role, I would say 95% is the analytical portion.
Okay.
Obviously, as you are growing in your career, you're going to start with mundane tasks and you can, master them and get good at them. And I would also say just don't be afraid to speak up if you feel like you want to take on something else and you want to learn something. In accounting, there's all kinds of different positions and responsibilities that need to be taken care of. So it's always good to talk to your manager if you want to learn something new, but also don't be scared to say no to certain things. If management is not right for you and you just want to be good at what you do, that's fine. You don't need to feel this pressure to do something else.
So as a staff or senior accountant, I hear this a lot, that they want the manager to approach them about their career development. But you're saying it's okay for like a staff or senior accountant when they're ready to move, when they want to move, they can approach their manager and say, hey, this is what I'm interested in. That's okay. Is that right?
They should 100% be okay doing that, or I don't think they have the right management support that they need.
Okay.
I absolutely think you should be able to speak openly with your manager. If you're fine doing AP, but you want to look at the AR side, you want to dive into something else. I'm not saying they're going to grant it right away. You obviously have to realistically look at something, but it can be built into a plan for the future for either a transition or advancement or just taking on more responsibilities. Okay. So I would 100% say that should be brought up by you if you feel that you want to take that move.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. And then lastly, are there any Excel things, any functions in Excel or things that people should know how to do in Excel? Like, what do you recommend? Like, I always say pivot tables, VLOOKUPs, but you're more hands on the ground or boots on the ground. What would you say people need to know in Excel?
No, those are great. Those are the two that I stress the most when we're interviewing candidates for any position, honestly, within our department. You could throw in there XLOOKUP, which could come in handy. But knowing pivot tables, doing slicers, like actually, getting into the pivot table and making it to what you want, and just organizing the data, working in big workbooks and being able to filter and sort and put the data in the, I actually use, another one I use a lot is text to column. When you get a lot of different, a big chunk of ugly data that you want to make pretty, or you just need to get a certain part of something out so you can do a VLOOKUP based on something. Text to columns is a big one that I actually used in my audit internship. I learned it there and I've been using it since.
All right, Ashley, I appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching, and stay tuned for another episode of our Beyond the Numbers series. Thank you very much.